Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 47 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. I'm going to jump right into things this episode, and you guys might be wondering, what is he building? Well, I'm basically just going to sort of set myself up a little bit here, and then you guys will be able to see what I'm building once we're done. So we're just basically going to set ourselves up something along these lines, and then we're going to work on building ourselves a couple things. Now, let me take a minute to get together the materials and I'll be back. Alright, so I've made myself a deployer, which you guys have seen me do before, obviously, since I've got ourselves a plan for it. But the other thing I'm going to make is block breaker, and you can see the recipe for it there. Pretty simple, just going to need to get ourselves a pickaxe, which isn't too big of a deal, and should be something along these lines. There we go, block breaker. Cool. So the reason for this is that I'm tired of having to make our dark iron manually. And to fix that, we're going to basically set up a little bit of a sort of machine here that's going to help us just sort of handle that. So I'm going to grab our screwdriver here, flip this thing around. There we go. And flip that around there. Now, I should have, I think I have at least. Did I not have another one of those? I thought I did, but I could be wrong. If we do have a Wrath Igniter, it's going to be over here, maybe? There it is. So, little tidbit of knowledge about the Wrath Igniter. Netherrack will keep it lit pretty much infinitely. So by clicking on a bit of Netherrack here, we've basically made ourselves a little Wrath furnace type thing, and that's just basically going to cook forevermore. Now, if we were to put our block of iron here, let's just grab a couple. If we were to put a block of iron here, in no time flat, it gets converted into dark iron. Now, obviously, we don't want to have to sit here and manually, put a block there and then break it. So what we're going to do is basically have buttons here that will deploy these things for us, and then another button that will break the block and should move it out. So I'm actually going to grab a bit of pneumatic tubing. Mostly just to be able to set up a little bit of a chest here. Apparently we don't have one on us. Oh, always forgetting something, aren't I? There we go, chest. And we're just going to need a couple buttons. Shouldn't be too big a deal, but I think we need smooth stone for that. I still haven't cleaned up my floor from what we were working on last episode. There we go, 2 buttons. I'll probably do that as soon as we're done with this and I'm getting ready to move on to sort of the next thing I want to do. So pretty simple. Hit the button, iron goes down, hit the button, dark iron block comes off. Pretty easy, right? So basically we're just going to set up a little bit of a chest here. That way we can just pump all our dark iron straight into this chest. Cool. So button, button. Now I could probably set up a timer, and I think I will here in a little bit, but I'm going to have to do some testing because, as you guys can see, this isn't exactly an exact science of how long it takes to do the block. So what I'm probably going to have to do is just work out the timing. So that's basic, at least a basic idea behind this thing. So why don't I'm pretty sure we've got a timer somewhere. I want to say we've got a timer in here. We do. Why don't I slap this down, play a little bit with the timing, and as soon as I have it worked out, I'll be back just to sort of show you guys what I did. Alright, so pretty simple setup actually. I just ran have my timer, and I just ran a couple bits of wiring on the sides, and I have it set to about a 2-second interval. which seems to be happening a little too fast. So let's increase it. Looks like for some reason our Wrathfire went out. I don't know if something we did with the wiring or something messed it up, but there we go. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what just happened there, but hopefully it's fixed. But yeah, I've got this thing set to about a 2-second interval, which is pretty much plenty of time. The main trick is we don't want this to run too fast, or we're just going to start pulling iron blocks from here, and that's not exactly what we want. So there we go. Pretty simple system. We've now got ourselves a pretty cool and self-sufficient way to get dark iron without too much trouble. And it was really simple to build too. So I probably want to try to figure out some kind of off switch for this thing, but I think the way we have it set up at the moment isn't really going to be conducive to that. I might just have to sort of move the timer up onto the top of the machine. Let's do that. That way we can shut it off, actually. Is there a way I can do this? I don't know if there's going to be an easy way for me to do this. Yeah. I would have liked to just have a simple, hey, I can pull a switch right here, but I don't think it's going to be that. Because I'm sitting here looking at this going, don't know unless I just make it look really ugly. So, because I don't want this timer going at all times, I really don't. So I'm basically just going to put it right here, run our wiring around the sides here, like so. And I guess what I could do, it won't be the prettiest looking thing in the world, but it should at least work. Gonna need a bit of, where is it? This and our saw. I'm just gonna make little panel strips. Should be pretty easy once I can, come on, get onto the canvas bag. Pretty simple to make, nothing too complicated. I mostly just want to do that way it sort of blends in and yet it won't connect to there. And then we can set ourselves up a lever, which I'm not sure if we have any spares in here. We do. Hooray. I like having spare stuff. It makes things much easier. So there we go. So now we have a way to shut this whole thing off. So that done, we can just remove these buttons and we're good to go. I'm actually going to go ahead and just, I'm not sure if this is going to matter, but just to be on the safe side, put ourselves a little bit of a cover strip there. Not that it should matter, because when this whole thing is off, the whole thing is off. So, yeah, there we go. Good to go. And we've got ourselves a little cheap and easy system for getting ourselves some lots of dark iron. Now, what I probably also could do, I do have a place for it to go. So if I were to basically put myself just a simple auto crafting table there, I could probably hook this up and have it automatically shipped over there. You know, that sounds like a plan. Let me get together the stuff for that and we'll hook it up automatically to our system. Alright, this should be pretty simple to set up because if we just put one block of dark iron here, it knows to pull out 4 regular dark iron ingots. So now we can just, got myself some stuff going together for our autarkic gate, but pretty simply, if we were to just dig under here a bit, actually, don't even need to dig under here. In fact, we're just going to have this all be above ground. Simple, simple build. This is not going to be at all difficult to get going. There we go. And then straight up into some pneumatic tubes. We're going to need a restriction tube just to make sure that things don't go down that way. Let's find all our tubing that we had. We should have a spare one lying around. Cool. Oh, no, that's redstone tube. I don't really want that. Pneumatic tube. That's what I want. And we'll just basically go like so. And there we go. So basically, as stuff comes out of here, it should very easily. Let's get this put in here so we can get a. We're gonna need a gate. Basically, as soon as I have an autarkic gate, we should be good to go here. I'm just gonna put all this stuff in here, as that's gonna simulate the automaticness of all this. This should be pretty easy to get going. Hopefully it's smart enough to go that way rather than go back that direction. If it's not, we can solve that pretty easily by just running the tube further and making it go sort of a further distance than we currently have it set to go. Get this autarkic gate made really fast. There we go. And we'll see how this thing goes. So it's in signal off, energy pulsar, and that should start pumping out the ingots. There they go. And now we should be able to watch which direction they go. So far, so good. Hopefully, I'm going to keep watching it because there's a chance it could go back the other way, but thus far it's looking pretty promising. Nice. Yeah, this is looking good. And of course, as you guys can see, this stuff is automatically getting sorted over into the proper barrel, which should be this one. Yep. Cool. So now we can automatically make some dark iron ingots and ship them over to where they're supposed to be. So cool. Alright, so that done. Just a small project that I wanted to get done, and it is, so cool. So that done, let me take a few minutes to decide kind of where we want to go next, and I'll be back. Alright, I am back, and I think I've decided, I've actually switched our tree farm back over to regular oaks because I want to get more apples, and I think I have enough to sort of get started with what I want. But remember when we set this whole system up, I mentioned the fact that this aqueous accumulator was only temporary. Well, the reason for that is that we're going to basically set up a system to squeeze apples into apple juice, and our biomass generator here will start using that instead of water. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically provide more materials to be used in the. It's basically going to result in a more efficient biomass generation system. Yeah, we're not using a ton of it at the moment, but I definitely want to start using it more, and before I do that, I definitely want to have the infrastructure in place to be able to handle that. So, it shouldn't be too difficult to set up. I mean, I've went ahead and gotten together some managers, which you guys have seen me put together in the past, and this should be pretty simple to do. We're going to need to get ourselves a stack of apples and put those in there, obviously. I think for the apples we're going to go with, let's go with, I don't know, red? How's red sound? Red sounds like apples. as soon as we can find it, of course. There we go. And of course that's going to be set to 1. And we're going to have to get power to it, but that should be as simple as basically hooking everything up to this line. Now we should just be able to do this. Basically have the apples come in right to there. And then of course we're going to want to set up the other manager right below. So let's pop into the wall here, because I'm pretty sure we should just be able to do something like this. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Those are not the apples. Where are the apples? There? Whoop. I guess that was strange. So right there. And of course I'm going to have to fix this, making a huge mess as usual. So we'll pop our second manager right here underneath our apples. And get it facing the right way. Whoop. And of course, actually right here it's set to, come on, cut it out. There we go. Way too many apples. So we should just be able to basically hook up the same sort of setup as we did for all of this stuff over here. But actually, let me take a look at something here. That comes up right there. We might just be able to just do that, and it should maybe work fine. Oops. If we just set that there, because it should theoretically be able to run down that way. So let's see. That is not red, that is pink. There we go. So apples should start coming out of there as soon as we get power to that manager. So let's see, using a different, let me go ahead and get together some of these normal stone jacketed wiring. There we go. I knew we had some. So basically we're just going to run this straight down very similarly as to that. And we should just be able to basically hook this up straight across and up. So this should start getting power, and it should start pulling apples as soon as it's powered up. Yep, there they go. And just like with our other system, this should work pretty well. Now I want to watch the squeezer to make sure that it's going to produce this properly. Should be getting stacks of apples in here any second now. There they come. Going the right way. And they're going in the wrong side, so we're going to have to, I guess they have to come into this side. That's a little annoying, but okay. What if we did it through the front here? Come on. Let's try that side. That's the tricky thing with some of these red power machines, is they don't always connect where you expect them to. Let's just do that for now. Okay, now let's see what happens. I was kind of hoping we could set it up so that it mirrored this, but oh well. Nothing's perfect, right? Come on. There we go. Apples are coming along. In they go. Okay, there we go. That's the right side. So, not too big a deal. We could fix this pretty easily. I'm going to put our apples right there. Alright, so I'm trying to decide how best it would be to, the easiest way to sort of tidy this up. To make it look a little better, I don't really like the gigantic tube system up there. No. Could, maybe. No, I'm pretty sure that would be... Actually, yeah, I know what we can do. We don't need the gigantic tubes up on top. We could run it into the floor. It's not completely how I wanted it to be, but it'll work. So instead, we'll just run it down. And we'll basically connect it up with stuff right here. And that actually should be pretty easy to do, because there we go. And all we really need to do is get ourselves a couple hollow covers, but that should work. Yeah. Alright, so now we're getting, obviously that. We definitely need to get power to this thing, so we need to take a look at the easiest way to do that. Probably here. I'm going to need to get myself some liquid ducts and some energy conduits, so why don't I grab those and I'll be back. Okay, so I got myself some more of these redstone energy cells because after doing some taking a look at things, obviously did not have enough. So this should do though. Right now I'm digging underneath where our aqueous accumulator's sort of water source is, which isn't exactly ideal, but it's okay because we're going to be getting rid of all that anyway. So there we go. Squeezer should now be getting power. Let's take a look. And yes, we are producing apple juice. Cool. So the only other thing we really need to do is put a lever on this tube. That way we start filling this tank up with apple juice. So don't think we actually have any more levers. Let's see here. Go just get ourselves a quick lever. By one lever, I mean 4, because we use them enough. I like to keep them on me. So let's maybe accidentally have it facing the right way. There we go. And apple juice is flowing. Cool. So the only other thing we really need to do is, now that we're producing apple juice, we're also getting this mulch, which we'll have to probably get some kind of something put together to pull the mulch out. Probably some kind of retriever or something. I'm not sure. That could probably come later, because right now I want to dig back through here. I don't actually remember if we'd set up a valve to come off of this tank anywhere. We did. It's right here. Perfect. That's exactly where I want it. So basically we can just run our... should be able just to run it down. We're going to need... Gonna need a redstone signal there. Probably a torch would do the trick. But basically what we're going to do is just, we're going to completely remove... Where did our... there it is. I want to switch over to this before our drill runs out of power. Basically, we're going to make a gigantic mess. And we're getting rid of this aqueous accumulator, basically. And in its place is going to be our apple juice, which should be pretty easy to do. We just gotta sort of knock our way through here, remove all that stuff, and replace our liquid ducts like so. I think we're gonna run out of those too, unfortunately. But you guys should be able to see sort of where I'm going with this. Yeah, we're definitely running out of liquid ducts. I'm gonna have to make some more of these. I'll do those off camera. You guys have seen me make plenty of liquid ducts in the past. And then we can realistically just run it straight down like so. That'll work. And it won't connect there because liquid ducts don't automatically connect if they're not filled with the same liquid. Alright, so let me get some more liquid ducks. Alright, so I've got myself plenty of liquid ducks now, so we should be able to finish this build. And bam, there we go. So now all we need to do is get ourselves a bit of a redstone signal there. Trying to decide what probably be the best way to do that with. Do we have any wood? Of course not. Trying to remember if we already had some redstone torches here. We do. That'll work. As we really have no reason not to just pump, always pump out our apple juice from here. So redstone torch hereabouts should do the trick. And apple juice is flowing. So let's take a look here. Obviously, water's gonna stay in here for the time being, but as this thing runs, obviously the water's gonna run down, and eventually will start being supplied with apple juice instead, which is fine because in the meantime, we can basically just work on filling up this tank with delicious, delicious apple juice. Cool. So that done, I think the only thing that's really left to do here is tidy this up. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'm sure we're probably getting pretty close to the point where we need to call this episode, which means we probably don't have a lot of time left to do anything big. So let me figure out what we have time for, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there's one problem with our system right now, and that is we're producing a lot of mulch, which means that's a problem we need to deal with immediately. Thought it might be something that we could sort of hold off on, but we really can't. So we're going to solve that problem pretty simply, I think. Should have some jacketed wiring too, and these machines should be able to transfer power between each other. They can. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to pull one thing of mulch out of here and allow this to just pull mulch. Now, the next thing we really need to do is basically just connect this up, and I think this will just connect to the whole system, and we should pretty simply be able to do this. Hopefully this will not be completely freaking out. Except we're going to have a small issue of we need some kind of... Yeah, we need some way to pull this, which means a timer, which means not ideal. I'm wondering, actually, if... Let's try something. Let us try something, because this might just work. See, the manager is definitely emitting a redstone signal. So basically what I'm going to try to do is use the very signal that the manager gives off when it's full to almost act as a tick on the pulling out of mulch. So, for example, when this finally finishes a squeeze, which it should be doing, why did this stop running? I'm not sure why this isn't squeezing at the moment. That is strange. Very, very strange. I don't know what's going on here. Let me take a minute to figure out why this is stopped running, and I'll be back. Figured out what was going on. Our biomass engines over here are being stupid, basically. They ran out of lava. Except not this one. Oh no, I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. So now they're getting power. This thing should be running easily. Cool. So let's try to put this back here again and see if this won't work this time. So pretty much as soon as this pulls apples and fills, it should basically be giving us a bit of a tick here. It is, but because we only have the retriever set to pull one, what we'll do is we'll just tell it to pull a whole stack, and that should solve that problem. That way it'll try to pull as much as it possibly can. There we go. So again, as soon as this fills up, it should try to pull a whole stack, and we should be good to go. And of course, our mulch is finding its way over to a designated empty space. So just a second. And it's full. It's not pulling the mulch. What is your freaking problem, thing? The alternative is I guess it's because it doesn't have a full stack of mulch. Alright, I tried. I'm just going to have to go the old timer route. So let me get one of those put together, and we'll turn it on, and then we'll wrap this episode up. Alright, time for the good old standby. Can't go there because of levers. Good old standby timer. Should do the trick. It's not how I really wanted to do this, but it's not really going to leave me a choice. And I can't do it that way. I'm going to have to do it... not really... Yeah, it's going to be pesky no matter what, pretty much. Okay, gonna have to just suck it up and have an ugly thing sticking out. And of course I would forget the wiring to make this whole thing actually work right. Oh, it's nighttime too. Not a bad time to be wrapping up this episode. Alright, so there we go. And that's gonna be able to actually pull the mulch out now. And we'll be able to set this timer for really slow, so it shouldn't really be ticking that often. Realistically, it can probably tick every 15 seconds and be perfectly fine. I'm actually not sure how long it would take for this to actually fill with a full stack of mulch, but what I'll probably do is I'll probably just fiddle with the timing off camera between this episode and next. Not too exciting of a thing to do, but at the very least you guys can see we've got a pretty simple system going on here, and you can already see that the water is starting to run down in our fermenter. So cool. Accomplished what I was hoping to accomplish this episode. So yeah, so that's where we're going to call this episode. This has been Season 2, Episode 47 of DarkDragoon's Feed the Beast Modpack Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you guys later.